We are here with Heng from the Classical Chinese Garden in British Columbia, Vancouver. This is for HYPER Annotations 3.0, Triple Ampersand's public program. Henry, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about your institution and the role you play within it?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm the incoming executive director of the Dr. Sen Classical Chinese Garden located in Vancouver, Chinatown. It is a very unique cultural institution with a physical Ming Dynasty garden, and also it is a registered museum with regular artistic programming and events.
Yes. Can you tell us a little bit more about the events you have, or perhaps the objects or artworks that you display there, or that are on show?
Yeah, so the garden opened to the public in 1986, in April 1986. And there's a very rich history of the garden serving as a platform for intercultural exchange, because the garden was supported by the Canadian government, the Chinese government, and also local communities. And it also served it has been a symbol for this kind of community resistance against expressway that was going to build over Chinatown.
Mm-hmm. I see. And as I understand it, you yourself and as well as your institution are quite interested in migration and diaspora. So I wanted to ask you what you think of this year's theme for the Venice Biennale, which is foreigners everywhere.
Yeah. It is, so I have to say I still have to see a lot of it. Yes. I have to see the central pavilion and also Arsenale. But I think that it's an interesting concept, I would say, because if you think about foreigners everywhere, we are all foreigners right here, right now. And then the Biennale is such a opportunity to bring people from all corners of the world together, and then to quite a small spot, but during a very intensive period of time. So to me, it's this kind of shared experiences, but also the critical examination of that.
Yes. I want to ask you, what are some of your highlights of the Biennale so far? I know it's only day 2, but so far. And perhaps maybe some lows or some things that you would be critical towards, as you said.
I think that I'm always kind of just critical about, perhaps how we at this time sort of approach this type of cultural tourism. And of course, I think that we're all complicit in it, because we all came here and then we celebrate, especially during the preview, and people from the art world really gathered. I feel that it's also a good opportunity to reflect on that and how to proceed. As we are all artistic and cultural practitioners.
Yes. Well, this is a very interesting word you brought up, cultural tourism. How would you define that?
Yeah, for sure. So Venice has a long history of hosting the Biennale. It's the oldest Biennale, and it's considered the most important one. And it's such a mecca for artists, curators, cultural workers, everybody. Yes. But also, I think that through the Biennale, Venice has positioned itself as this kind of center of, but not just national representation of art, but also this kind of what are some of the big topics in the art world being discussed right now. So, and I think that tied to that, there's tourism, and then this kind of way to engage visitors, but also through art.
Yes. And are there any particular pavilions or shows, or perhaps just venues that you're very excited to visit, or perhaps ones that you visited and that you thought were really good, or just notable or interesting?
I was actually pretty impressed with the the Korean pavilion because it's about scents. And then I was just here yesterday, and then they did open call for while the artists did open call to collect scents and what people consider as the sense of Korea. And then I think that it was quite it was not really a complicated kind of installation or setup in the pavilion, but it really gives you that it does the job really, like what it wanted to do. Because as I stepped in the pavilion, I was immediately gravitated towards the sense, and that's pretty unique.
Yes, I'd agree. It was quite engaging. Anyway, Henry, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.